welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. Well guys, look what I saw when I woke up this morning. The first snowfall of the year. So with the snow flying and time marching on, it's time to get around to some Christmas preparations. I can't believe I am saying that it's time to get started getting ready for Christmas already, but it comes around so quickly. Anyway, I wanted today to make one of my family's favorite Christmas treats. Now, it's nothing outrageous. It is just a recipe I found years and years and years ago when my children were little. I believe it was on the crispy rice cereal box because it contains them. So I can't find the recipe again. Luckily, I saved it. And I make this treat every year for my kids. I only make it at Christmas time. I don't know why, just because it's become a Christmas tradition. So here it is. It is called Cocoa Crispy Roll. And it is a very sweet, chewy treat that everyone here loves. So let's get started and make it today. You can see my recipe is well worn. I should probably rewrite it, but right now it still works. So we start by cooking 3/4 of a cup corn syrup and 3/4 of a cup granulated sugar in a pot. I just use the same measuring cup because it's all going in together. And because we're going to blend in the peanut butter next, and it's also 3/4 of a cup, I'm going to prepare that while this is coming to a boil. You can see that our mixture is bubbling now. It didn't take long, maybe 5 minutes. Make sure all that sugar is dissolved. Turn off the stove and blend in the peanut butter. Next, we add 2 tablespoons butter or margarine. Let that melt in as well. It's all nicely mixed. So I'm going to take it over the table for the next part because I don't have very much counter space. While it's still warm, I'm going to add in 4.5 cups of Rice Krispies. And I'm making a mess. You want to work fast before the mixture cools. Once it's all mixed, I'm going to spread it out onto a 10 by 15 inch pan. Now it calls for a jelly roll pan, but I just use whatever dish I've got. I think this is a cookie sheet, but it works just as well. Now you want to spread it evenly in the pan, and just like with the Rice Krispie squares, if you've ever made them, you can use a little bit of butter or margarine on your knife to prevent the mixture from sticking while you spread it. Once it's all nice and even, I actually cut it down the middle to make the next part of this much easier. Well, as straight as it can be. The last thing we're going to do is make the chocolate filling, and it's quite easy. You just melt 1/3 cup of butter or margarine in a little pot with 2 tablespoons of milk or thereabouts. You can see that our margarine is melted, and now we add some icing sugar and cocoa powder. So about 1.5 cups of icing sugar. Now the recipe does call for it to be sifted in, and I'm sure that's a better way to do it, but you know, after all the years of making this, I just simply don't bother. You will have the odd lumps, but by the time you add the cocoa in, you won't notice it. And then about 2/3 cup cocoa powder. And it'll turn it into a really nice, rich, chocolatey sauce. If it seems too thick, you can always add a little bit more milk. Now I did add a little more milk. You wanted a really nice, creamy, spreadable consistency. And so now I'm going to pour half on each side because this is going to make 2 rolls. Then with a knife, just spread it to the edges. And now I just roll up each of the halves into a log. Now I suppose you could do one great big log, but I think that would be a lot harder to cut and a lot harder to eat. So I cut mine in half, and then I just begin rolling up at one edge to the middle. Then I just take a bit of wax paper, roll them up in the shape I want, and put them in the fridge to cool. So there you go, Cocoa Crispy Roll, ready for you to share with family and friends at the holiday season. Hope you've enjoyed this and that your Christmas baking is coming along well. Bye for now.